This is Christopher Smith with a Liberty Minute.
Hello, America. This Liberty Rant is part 2 of the 3-part series we've been discussing strategic solutions to restore sovereignty to our borders. Now, in part 1, we shared how important it was to address the disloyalty and subversion first. As I mentioned before, porous minds make porous borders. You can have a rock-solid border, but if minds are not formed up and tend to wax subjective rather than objective on the issue, well, we run into what we have now. And this is precisely what has happened here. In order to address this issue, you have to be willing to delve deeper and get under the subversion to correct the problem. Americans are on to the race-baiting tactics of the far left on this issue, and truth be told, they aren't relevant without it. And that's actually saying they were relevant with it. They have been utterly chased out of the realm of objectivity here as far as the free marketplace of ideas is concerned. Now, if you want to secure the borders, what you have to remove is the amnesty question, period. Citizenship is just as much a reward as it is a privilege, and we have not been good stewards of the arguments in as much as we have engaged the debate on this topic so far. It's not enough to just answer the straw man argument and say, well, Reagan did it. So what? Reagan was wrong on this issue, and 2020 hindsight shows that to be true. To some of the more typical answers we tend to respond with when attempting to repel some of these run-of-the-mill social justice entreats on the subject, yes, we cannot reward those who broke the law thinking they can come here and we're just going to reverse tracks and grant them citizenship. That is immoral. But there is a more effective way to combat the issue and the political correctness that comes behind it. And it's simple. I suggest splitting the difference. On the surface, it'll appear as though you caved, you reversed yourself on the issue. But in reality, all you did was call them on the carpet. And if they truly care so much about the plight of the so-called illegal immigrant, well, we'll find out soon enough. Let me explain. Since we know the thrust of what the left is trying to do is cobble together some third-string united front of quote-unquote inclusiveness, which is nothing more than a coded language of uniting the fringe element as a political front, I suggest give them just enough rope to hang themselves. Let the purported 10 to 12 million illegals stay here. That's right, I said let them stay. But rob them of the impetus of wanting to stay here illegally. With the exception of emergency medical service, bar them from obtaining any state aid. No welfare, no AFDC, no driver's licenses, no education, and we'll deal with the employers directly who want to have shadow employees. But most importantly, they will be barred from voting, since this is the raison d'etre the progressive left has been building up for the last 70 years. Many will leave on their own, but if arrested, we will follow the standard procedures of enforcement currently being ignored by this current administration and administrations past. We'll process them and enter them into a border crossers recidivism database, so we know that they've been here before. We'll read them the riot act on how it's going to be moving forward. Mainly, they'll be given a certificate giving them place at the back of the line if they want to step up and do it right. But if they get caught again, they will be permanently banned from entry into the United States, and then we'll simply deport them according to law. This will send a strong message that they can either A, be pawns of progressive politics, or B, become citizens according to the standard that is already established here. They will live here in the shadows until they want to come out and do this thing legally, but there will be no more taxpayer-subsidized illegal living and assisting them in staying here doing so. What this will force is the left's hand in all of this to see is they'll be as charitable with their own money as they will with taxpayers. I'm betting on it not. This is one suggestion. What do you think? I'm Christopher Smith.